This podcast may feature adult language and opinions on sensitive topics.
Hello, everybody, and welcome again to the Making a Musician podcast. I am Dane White, and today I sat down with my friend Ian Mull to talk about his blues influences, his history from learning guitar from the ground up, and later on he flips the switch a little bit and asks me some questions. So stick through to hear a pretty interesting interview. Thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoy.
Okay, so I've set a pretty good sensitivity on my end, so I can turn it up a little bit if I need to.
But yeah, okay, I think we're okay. If not, then future me, I'm sorry. Okay, I guess we could be good. I think we're good.
Okay, cool.
So go ahead and just introduce yourself. Tell me about yourself.
All right, well, I am Ian Mull, and I play the guitar, and I've been playing the guitar for quite a while now, probably like 5-6 years, and I also sing sometimes, dabble in that a little bit. And yeah, I predominantly play like blues and like funk, jazz kind of stuff. I mean, I play pretty much whatever I want to play, but yeah. Mostly those things. Big inspirations are like Stevie Ray Vaughan, Jimi Hendrix, John Mayer, Philip Sayce, Greg Koch, amazing guitar player. But yeah, that's kind of my musical taste in what I play.
Okay, you're probably gonna have to walk me through a bit of that, those people,
Okay.
because I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm more of a metal guy. I'm not very familiar with the bluesy,
Gotcha.
bluegrass kind of stuff.
Yeah, so Stevie Ray Vaughan is probably one you recognize, maybe?
I mean, I know the names, just not necessarily the
Okay.
sound that goes with them.
Gotcha. So, yeah, Stevie Ray Vaughan wrote Pride and Joy. You would probably recognize it if you heard it. It was on Guitar Hero 3, Legends of Rock. Jimi Hendrix, obviously.
Yeah, I know some Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah. And Philip Sayce, he is a lesser-known guitar player, which is a crime, because he is probably the greatest blues guitar player alive right now. He's insane. He completely shreds. And John Mayer, obviously. Oh, sorry, spiked a little bit there. John Mayer, obviously. He's got his bedroom pop hits, but he also is a very, very talented guitar player, and he's pretty masterful. Like, if you ever saw him on like Instagram Live when he's just kind of jamming out, it's mesmerizing. Like, he plays like 3 parts at the same time.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
That's...
Also, you might heard of Ichika or Nito. Do you know who that is?
Maybe.
He's kind of like a math rocky kind of guy, but he's got kind of his own unique style. He like messes around with a bunch of different
Is he
tunings.
like a YouTube guy, or like a more
He
of
is
like
on
actual
YouTube.
professional kind of stuff?
He does have like studio recordings, but I
Okay.
would say he's got more of an internet presence than anything.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't really play anything like him, but because I can't. But yeah.
That's cool. Well, how long have you been playing for?
Well, I did I technically started playing when I was like 10, but I only played for like a year, and then I was like, meh. And then I kind of took a break for about, probably until I was like a sophomore in high school, and that's when I really started getting back into it, and that's when I started to just get better, and it was fun, because I was getting better. Before, I was just kind of like, oh, I'm 10, what do I do?
Right, you played Mary Had a Little Lamb a couple
Yeah.
times, and
Well, yeah, now I play Mary Had a Little Lamb, but it's a different version.
right,
It's a blues version.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, just kind of walk me through like your history with music. You know, what where you started, and I guess
Yeah.
how you got to where you are now.
So, okay, pretty much when I started out, so my dad has been playing guitar for decades, and he would tour and stuff. I think one time he opened for Kansas, which was pretty cool. But yeah, so he was a musician, and he's obviously still a musician, but he used to gig a lot. He doesn't really gig anymore, but so I would always go to his shows and just kind of watch him on stage, and I'd listen to his CDs and stuff like that. But aside from that, like on road trips and stuff, we'd listen to like Stevie Ray Vaughan in the car. That was really the only blues exposure I had as a child was Stevie Ray Vaughan, and then um, being a fan of his growing up and stuff, and then getting back into him a little more as a teenager. Then I started to kind of branch out and listen to stuff like B.B. King and more Jimi Hendrix, and that's when I discovered Philip Sayce, and then I kind of just my brain went wild, and I was like, okay, what can I learn? What can I do? And it just kind of took off from there. But let me backtrack a little bit. So I got my first guitar in high school. Before that, I would just play my dad's guitar. Well, actually, my first guitar was an acoustic, but and so my dad and I went to Guitar Center, and I just looked around for a while, saw this really nice black Mexican Strat with a tortoiseshell pickguard and a Seymour Duncan humbucker in there, and I was like, oh, okay, yeah. And so we bought that. It was a used guitar, but it played just fine, and it was good enough for what I was playing at the time. And so, took it home, and I sat down and I just taught myself whatever I wanted to teach myself, and I took my time with it. Um, and it paid off. It was just one of those things where I was just really interested in it, and so I just put pretty much all my time into it. And yeah, so I definitely started learning a lot of Stevie Ray Vaughan, and um, from there, I kind of moved on to just like random songs that I remembered from like Guitar Hero or something. Uh, and then when I started listening to more blues artists, I would, pick up some of their songs that I liked, and just it kind of expanded my style. Uh, and this all is cataloged on YouTube, by the way, from the moment, from even before I got my own guitar. I kind of have like a weird timeline of my progression on the internet, but uh, yeah, I not to humble brag, I feel like I kind of got better much quicker than I expected I would, and I didn't really have like a frame of reference because I didn't really have any friends that play guitar or anything. Now I do. I have a few friends that play guitar, and they're really good. And I just yeah, not that I was like super good or anything, but for like how long I'd been playing and the stuff that I had to work with, I was doing pretty good. And so that was encouraging. I had some self-confidence there. And I got a job at 15, and I just kind of saved up all my money, and so that's how I got all my gear. Like if I had to start from square one gear wise now, I would be so screwed because yeah, I'm so glad that I spent so much of my money in high school on guitars. Because now, let's see, I have I got like 5 guitars, and I've got a few amps. I've got my Ignator Rebel 30 head, which is a great head, and I play it through a 412 in my tiny bedroom, which is very interesting. My parents love it. Anyway,
Sure.
yeah, and I also have a deluxe reverb that I got like about a year ago, but I mostly just play through my little Yamaha THR-10. It's a little tiny portable practice amp, but it's probably one of the best you can get because it sounds amazing, and it sounds like a much bigger amp. But yeah, and then I made my way up to my newest guitar, which I'm very, very excited to have. It is a PRS Silver Sky. It's John Mayer's signature model. Uh, I'm financing it, just so you know. So it's not like I bought it up front. Don't want to seem like I'm rich or anything, because I'm the opposite of that.
But you're definitely like
But
a gear guy, huh?
for the most part, I'm not exactly as knowledge. Like, if someone would like walk into my house and see everything I have, and they would think that I know a bunch about gear, but I really don't. Like, I have a lot of pedals too. Like, I remember my friend, my bass player friend, he knew this guy that was trying to start a pedal company, and so he let me like demo a bunch of those, and I never gave them back.
Wow.
And so I know. So I have like a bunch of just plain white pedals with no discernible markings or anything, so you don't really know what it is. And so I just kind of mess around with those sometimes. But I really like my
That's
wah,
cool
my
though.
crybaby, my soul food pedal by Electro, or yeah, Electroharmonics, and I got a tube screamer that's classic for blues, widely used everywhere. I got a little mini ditto looper that I like to kind of mess around with and make cool loops and just play with myself. That sounded bad, but yeah. And now these days, I'm just kind of in my house jamming away. Can't really go play anywhere. Not that I did before, but oh, I totally skipped over a portion of my music career, if you can call it that. But I did have a band in high school that I was a part of called the Cosmists. It wasn't that great. It was kind of like when I first started to seriously play. I was like, okay, yeah, I'll join my friend's band. That would be cool. And I mean, it was an experience I needed for sure. To just play with other people and play in like a band setting and have like practices and workshop songs and stuff. And we would book shows through a company called Afton. I don't know if you've heard of them, but
No, I have
uh,
not.
okay. Well, it was pretty much like you sign up for it, and then they're like, and if they have like a show that they need somebody for, they'll just like kind of, you know, reach out and just be like, hey, there's this band that needs an opener. Do you want to play? And then we would, say yes or whatever. It wasn't too great of an experience, but we did get
Was
to
that
play.
band also kind of the bluesy kind of stuff, or was there something like completely different?
Oh no, it was completely different. It was like indie, alternative stuff. Um, kind of. I would say I don't really know how to describe it. Uh, like a really bad version. Sorry, hold on. Okay, there we go. A really bad version of like Brand New
Oh,
or like Death Cab for Cutie.
okay, yeah, like very emo alternative kind of stuff, sort of maybe.
It okay, I would say it's emo alternative, but nobody would have known the emo part of it because gosh, I gotta tread lightly here. Um, hmm. Our vocalist was hmm, questionable, but yeah. So we ended up just not being a band anymore because both the bass player and I were like, we don't like this anymore, and we couldn't grow in that setting, and so it was really holding us back, and like it was
Right.
just wearing us out. And so, well, I don't know. I can't really speak for the bass player, but me for sure, I was just like, I need something else. I can't. We're not doing anything that I really want to do. And like I played some shows. We played at the Granada a couple times, which was
Oh wow,
cool.
that's
But
cool.
it was one of those Afton shows things. So it was like seven bands, and they all had like 15 minutes, and it was trash garbage. Um,
I mean, the show's a show.
a show is a show, absolutely for sure. And yeah, I'm very grateful I got to have those experiences. And the second time I played at the Granada, our vocalist wasn't able to make it, but we did find this really there were these two brothers, and one of them was very good at drums and the other was a good like jazz guitar player. So that was like my time to like that was the first chance I had really to like shine, because we were gonna play, the bluesy stuff, some like Hendrix stuff, and that was a long time ago. Like I was still like pretty good back then, but like looking back, it was like I really want to have an experience like that now.
Yeah.
But um, it was really cool. And there was actually a decent amount of people there, and there's some footage of it, and it was really cool. But fun fact, here's a little tidbit, fun little story here. Right before we were supposed to play, one of my strings broke.
Oh
Uh,
no.
yeah, and so you know how there's that music shop across the street? Have you ever been to the Granada?
Yeah, a couple times. That's
Oh,
kind of
okay,
a little bit
gotcha.
out of my way. I'm in Kansas City. That's Lawrence, right? So
Yeah, that's
it's
in
a bit
Lawrence.
of a drive, but yeah, I've been there a few
Yeah, for sure.
times.
Yeah, so there's a music shop right across the street from it. And so I had to run over there and I was like, hey, I'm about to go on stage. Can you please change the string for me really fast? I'll pay for the strings and whatever. I got to get on stage. And the dude was like a little too relaxed about it. And
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, come on. Yeah, find your string winder. Yeah, let's go. And so finally, it's replaced. I get everything's good and well, and I'm on stage on time. But you know, when you change a string, it's gotta set, you know?
Right. Get
Um,
that tension out.
yeah. So I did have to fix the tuning quite a lot, but I think it was one of those things where only the I and other musicians would have noticed it. Anyone in the crowd who like wouldn't really know what I was doing probably didn't notice it.
Right.
So
I mean, I'm sure you could have improvised on a completely different string and nobody would have noticed.
yeah, yeah. I mean, well, at that time I probably wasn't confident enough to do that, but
That's fair. So,
it was.
how old are you now?
Oh, I'm 21 now.
21. Okay. Wow. A little
Yeah.
bit younger than what I was thinking. Um,
Oh,
and
really?
yeah, I don't know.
Everyone always thinks I look a lot younger than
I'm
I.
23, so I just kind of assume everybody's my age.
Oh yeah,
um,
yeah, I feel that.
but yeah, I mean, it's a very interesting scenario because I think you're the only guy in our kind of age group that I've spoken to, at least, that primarily does the blues stuff.
Oh, okay.
Most of the people that
It,
I
it's
know are
it's a dying breed.
yeah, most of the people I know are into like the indie stuff or like the super heavy
Mm,
metal or hardcore kind of stuff.
yeah,
So it's really, I mean, it's interesting. It's a whole different kind of side of music. I mean, that I love. I love all, not all, most music. I don't like country.
yeah,
Um,
same.
but yeah, I mean, it's super cool. Sitting down and listening to some of your videos on your Instagram or your YouTube channel. Um, just hearing you
Yeah.
play, it's a lot. I don't want to talk shit on like metal bands, but the stuff you're doing is a lot
Oh,
more intricate and you know
oh, I don't know
sophisticated.
if I would say that, but it might be one of those things where it's easier than it looks. I don't know. Again, I don't have much of a frame of reference for this stuff, but uh, yeah, I really actually have a great appreciation for metal and progressive music and all those genres, and I really like Polyphia. I really like Chon, bands like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and like, hold on. Let me very quickly pull up some of my Spotify playlists here because
Yeah, I
I
mean like
have a
the
pretty
instrumental
fire playlist.
bands. Yeah, like Polyphia, Chon. I like
Hmm.
Pliny a lot. Scale to Summit,
Oh, plenty, yeah,
super
dude.
good.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And I really I like some Periphery. I have a great appreciation for all their music, but I only listen to some of it.
They
Yeah,
kind of lost me with the ketchup and mustard music video.
yeah. I
It's,
kind of
I guess
I saw the thumbnail.
a
That's
little
how I
too
feel about that
artsy
music
for
video.
me, I guess.
Yeah, yeah.
If
I
that's the
know
word
what you
we want to
mean.
use.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, let's see. What do I got? Intervals, um, Vitalism, Ginger. Have you ever heard of Crazy 88?
I have, yes, absolutely.
Oh, yeah, okay. Crazy 88. Hail
Uh,
the Sun,
yeah, Lauren is
my
an
my emo
amazing
side.
vocalist.
Yeah, oh my gosh, I know. It's crazy. But I do have my guitar with me. I don't know if I could maybe expose you to some of the I can like I'll give I can impersonate a few artists.
Sure, if that's something you want to do, I say go for it. This
Okay.
this is your
Yeah.
time and your space, man. You can do whatever the fuck you want.
All right. Well, I'm gonna. Okay, this is my Stevie Ray Vaughan impersonation. Here we go. If the mic doesn't fall off of my leg, please no. Okay, here we go. So yeah, that was my Stevie Ray Vaughan. Little bit that I do, and let's see, BB. BB's got like a nice soft tone, and he's got that quick, tight vibrato. But yeah, he never really played. He didn't play chords really. He was because the interesting thing about BB is that when he was learning to play guitar, because I think he grew up when as a slave actually, and so he was really kind of around that like gospel music and that kind of soul music, and he just kind of taught himself to play, but he just I don't know, he never messed with chords. That wasn't his thing, but he didn't really need to because he had such a like an an audible personality, and it he had a nice band, which was definitely a really nice accompaniment for him. Uh, if you wanna cut out um, that BB part, or not the what I was talking about, but the part I was trying to play because I literally like had a brain aneurysm and I was trying to make sure the microphone wasn't gonna fall off my leg, and I messed up so bad.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, thank you.
I'll leave in you asking me to cut it out though. So.
Oh, nice. uh, another inspiration that I had growing up for guitar, just music in general, was Guitar Hero. I am a very avid Guitar Hero slash Clone Hero player, and I'd like to think that I'm pretty good. You know, I'm one of those I'm one of those guys that always goes right to the Guitar Hero arcade at the power play and tries to get all the high scores.
Yeah, I love Guitar Hero, but
Nice.
I cannot express how bad I am at it.
Oh,
I think I can barely
well,
pass on medium.
yeah, it's definitely not the same as playing a real instrument at
No.
all. I mean, there is a rhythm, a rhythmic ability needed, but other than that, you're just kind of like looking at patterns and stuff. But yeah, so that I did have a lot of exposure to some pretty good music through that game, or those games, those 500 of those games. Uh, but yeah, I really haven't done much with myself in a real world sense musically. Like I haven't really put myself out there as much as I would have liked to. I just kind of did those afternoon shows with my old band, and that's been years ago now. But yeah, it's just been a really long time.
Is that
It's
something
the
you're
biggest
wanting to
struggle.
do? Is
Oh
kind of
yeah,
put
definitely.
out some solo releases or something, or maybe even like I don't know. I don't know if you are interested in doing the band stuff ever again, but
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I really want to play live, and yeah, I do want to do some solo stuff, but it would be kind of like produced, and there would be other instruments for sure. Like my girlfriend's grandpa has like a studio in his basement, and it's really nice. And he told me if I could get a few tracks together, that he'd lay them down, and so that's kind of what I'm working on right
super
now.
cool.
Yeah, and that's kind of motivating me to get it in gear, writing wise. But actually, I think the biggest thing that I'm trying to tackle right now is learning music theory, because I've kind of reached the point where I've I've been teaching myself this whole time, with the help of YouTube and stuff like that. Um, but I've never had like a teacher or anything, but I would really like to, get a teacher when I have the time for it because, I work like 9 hours a day, 5 days a week, and it's kind of exhausting, and it's really hard to schedule anything
Right.
with my situation right now. But I do take online lessons. There is this amazing, amazing guitar player who I forgot to mention on my influences, which I'm very ashamed of. Tomo Fujita. He is a Japanese funk guitar player, and he is incredible. He's just the most like knowledgeable. He has like all the guitar wisdom that you could want to know for jazz, funk, and blues, and just stuff like that. And he's just very wise. He's just a wise old man. And so I sit down every once in a while and watch his lessons and you know understand what I can of it. But right now I'm trying to learn all the notes on the fretboard,
That's
which
cool.
is
I gotta be honest. I learned
you know,
like power chords and then called it quits after that. So you're miles ahead of what I got. So that's
ugh.
awesome.
But yeah, the thing about that is I might be miles ahead, but I'm like I'm still trying to still trying to open the door. Because yeah, you kind of need to know all the notes on the fretboard. Yeah, I mean, I guess you don't need to. Like, you can understand scales and their relationships and stuff without it. But I think if I go into it knowing the notes on the fretboard, then I'll just be like, oh, okay, yeah, I know what you're talking about, and then I can find it
Hmm.
instead of having to like waste my time and sit there and like try and work everything out and
Yeah.
be more confused,
Yeah,
you know.
that's how I am. One of the guys that I play with, he knows music theory, and he's able to just on the spot write basically anything. You just play it out right there. Where
Ugh,
I have to like sit down and fuck around with frets and notes until I find something that I like. So, I mean, it's super
yeah,
cool, uh,
yeah,
but it's two completely different, like I guess, like writing processes, and it brings super interesting things
yeah.
to the table. But having that music theory background is definitely helpful.
Yeah, because then you can just kind of like have a framework in your head that you want to try out before you even pick up the guitar.
Hmm.
And it's like, I really want to do that. Something I do challenge myself to do though, because I work so much and, I try to see what I can do without a guitar, which I know sounds like, what could you do? I just kind of like would walk around at work when I have some downtime and I would like try and like hear something in my head and then I would try and like visualize how I would have to play it. And then I would just kind of do that all day. And then when I got home, I would see how close I got and like how accurate I was. And actually, I've gotten pretty good at it. Like, especially if I kind of keep it within the genre pretty close to the vest, I can like pretty much like know how to play something in my head before I play it. But that's just because I have like a lot of shapes memorized and like I play a lot of blues, and so it's not the most complicated genre, I will say. It's a pretty easy, laid back genre. Anything else is, well, I would say like, I would say soft rock and blues are on the same level of difficulty,
Okay.
pretty
Yeah,
much.
I mean, like I said, I'm more of a metal guy, so I don't know. Would you consider
Yeah.
jazz at all kind of close to blues music, or is that like
Oh
a
my
whole
gosh, no.
whole new thing?
Jazz, it makes my brain want to jump out of my head.
Yeah.
It's it's you if you want to be a good jazz player, you got to know music theory front and back, or at least, I mean, unless you're just like playing specific songs or learning specific songs that you'll just have like memorized. If you want to improvise well in jazz, you got to be like super smart and like you have to put in the time to do that. And like yeah, improvising jazz is like one of the most impressive things to me because it's just so, gosh, it's so impressive. But same with like gypsy style, like acoustic guitar, where they're just kind of like shredding constantly and like so consistently,
Mm-hmm.
and it's crazy. I don't know how people do that. Like finger picking stuff, I'm trying to get better at. I've gotten pretty good. I've gotten pretty good at some more like slap finger picking style stuff. But I definitely want to focus on that more in terms of expanding my various tones and voices that I can mess around with.
That's cool. That's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
So you picked up guitar. Is guitar all you do? You don't haven't messed around bass or maybe piano or anything like that?
I've definitely messed around with bass and piano, uh, but I sing a lot. I love to sing. I literally got my dad's voice. Like if I sing my dad's songs, I sound exactly like him. It's crazy. Uh,
Just out of
but
curiosity, does
yeah,
he have any like music available to listen to anywhere?
my dad is like almost 60 years old and is kind of out of touch with technology, but he does have a Reverb Nation account. Oof, right? Um,
Okay, that's an interesting one.
so yeah, so you can go to Reverb Nation and look up Chris Mull. That's my dad, and he's got not all his music, but he's got quite a few of his songs on there. Um, and they're pretty good songs. I would recommend it. I mean, he's a pretty good songwriter,
Yeah, for
and
sure. I'll check it out actually.
I'm waiting until I'm able to do that. But
I mean, it sounds
I'm
like you're on
not
the
to.
right track.
Yeah, yeah. I think I am. I think I am. I think I'm kind of selling myself short a little bit there, but uh, yeah, I've got a lot of songs in the works actually. and just kind of like some jam ideas. My most recent one is this pretty groovy, funky, like uh, it's like a finger picking, it's like a finger picking slash slap kind of deal. And I'm going to very quickly play it for you because
Sure.
it's pretty groovy.
Yeah.
All right, cool. But yeah, that's kind of the framework for it. I don't have
I
a full
mean,
song yet.
that's still incredible. Like, I mean, that's definitely probably not something I could do easily.
But yeah, the hardest part of that is that the slaps come down on different notes, and when I slap it, so I slap it with my thumb, but at the same time that I slap it with my thumb, my pointer finger has to rake against whatever note is next. And so I have to syncopate because every time it's a different note. And so the hardest part of like writing that was getting the syncopation down, but and I'm still kind of getting better at it, but I've gotten to the point where I can consistently play it, a little below the speed that I'm going for.
Well, no, that's super cool.
But yeah. Yeah, and just kind of like talking about songwriting in general, the way that I write songs is like honestly a lot of the times it's just me like messing around and then I kind of like accidentally do something cool and then I'm like, oh yeah, okay, I'm gonna chase that, and then it ends up in me writing a chorus and then I have to like reverse engineer the whole song. But honestly, it's kind of a good way of doing it because like, okay, well this is the cool part that I want to get to. How do I get here? Let me figure out some chords that might work around this, and then from there I just kind of figure out what vibe I want, how I want it to progress, and that's pretty much how I write songs. Or like, I never start with the intro ever. I've never done that. It's always been like, oh, this progression's cool, or oh, this sounds like a cool bridge to a song.
Yeah,
Just
no, I
kind of
mean
stuff like that.
I mean, if it works for you, I know a lot of times like authors or people who write stories would do the same thing. They'll kind of start maybe at the end or the middle and just kind of work their way back and figure out how to get to the part that they want to get to. So that's, I mean, I think that's a super good way of going about it.
Yeah. Something else I struggle with. Well, something I struggle with songwriting wise, uh, is lyrics. I mean, not that I can't come up with lyrics. That's not really the hard part. It's just coming up with lyrics that make sense for the instrumental that I've written that fit the atmosphere of the song.
Mm-hmm.
And my flows are usually a little basic for my liking, and so it's usually just like pretty kind of repetitive voicings, and I'm trying to like step away from that because I have experimented enough now to the point where I feel like I can come up with some interesting vocal lines, but man, lyrics are like not my favorite part. But I do always want them to be genuine and meaningful and like something that something that's just like me speaking. But it's kind of hard to do that. Like I usually, when I am writing a song or when I'm just kind of like grooving along to something that I don't really know what it is, I'm just kind of playing it. I always just subconsciously, at least, I always have some kind of like feeling or perspective in mind when I'm playing it. And so that's usually how the lyrics are influenced. I just kind of like, there's one song that I actually have a pretty cool demo for that I put together that I wrote about quarantine, but you wouldn't really know, you know. It's not like explicitly about quarantine, but
Right.
that was the inspiration because I was home and I had nothing to do and I was going crazy and I was like, I need to do something creative. I need to create something or I'm gonna die.
I mean, hey, that's what got this podcast going.
Yeah, nice, nice. Yeah, okay, that's another thing. During quarantine I've come up with like 50 podcast ideas and I haven't done a single one of them.
Well, I mean, I've said it in a previous episode, but this is something that I've been wanting to do for like years, and I've just had no motivation or nothing to actually push me to do it. So,
Yeah,
now's the
yeah.
time, basically.
Oh, for sure, for sure. I kind of wish, because now that I'm like working again, I look back and like realize how much time I wasted literally just doing nothing while I had all this free time. And I'm like, dang, I really should have taken advantage of that. So if you're still like stuck, like holed up in your house right now, make the most of it. Do what you couldn't do normally, because you're not, it's not always going to be like this, I hope.
I hope. We hope. I don't think it will.
I hope.
But yeah,
Yeah.
it's a crazy world we live in right now.
Yeah, yeah. Quite unfortunate.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, hold on a sec. I'm gonna set my mic down real quick.
There you go.
And we're back.
Okay. Let's see.
So I'm gonna flip the switch here. What are some of your inspirations?
Oh, like for my writing and stuff, or what?
Not even necessarily writing, but just what band do you listen to the most? And you're just like, okay,
Oh,
I need to make music right now, or I need to play music right now.
fuck.
Yeah, I know it's a big question.
Dude, I listen to a lot of music. My Spotify playlist has over 1,000 songs, or not 1,000, over 9,000 songs on it.
Oh yeah, no, I feel that, man. I feel that. I'm pushing 7,000.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, and
I
like,
don't know if there's a way to look at most recently listened to or something anymore.
yeah, they kind of switched everything around.
I
But
can go to my on repeat. Let's look at that.
oh, there we go.
Let's see what I have. Some While She Sleeps. I don't know if you know
Oh,
them.
nice.
Uh,
Yeah,
the Acacia Strain. It's another one.
that's another one. These are both so far. I've heard of them. I have
Yeah.
not heard them.
Okay. Okay. No, they're good. They're heavier for sure.
Oh, well, I'm
Devil
fine with
Wears
that.
Prada.
Oh yeah,
Crazy
Devil Wears Prada.
88.
Nice.
Dance Gavin Dance.
Cool,
I don't
cool.
know if you know Set to Stun.
I've seen the name, but I didn't check it out at all. I didn't really look into it, but
They're very
I
interesting.
definitely am trying to like get more of that kind of music going on my
They're
playlists.
they're definitely a very interesting band, and I'd recommend them.
Ooh, wait, have you heard of TV Girl?
No, I have not.
You haven't heard TV Girl? Okay, I don't blame you. Um, they let's see, how many months? Oh God, okay, they have 1 million monthly listeners. That's definitely changed since I last. So they've kind of blown up very recently. Not really blown up, but they have quite a few popular songs. But I remember in like 2016, it was a really cool experience. The person I was dating at the time, she kind of had a contact with one of the band members, and so I don't really know how it was organized or how it happened. I feel like it's something that shouldn't have happened, but we opened for them at a house show in a basement with like 8 people there,
Wow.
and it was just a really like chill, intimate environment experience, and we kind of like hung out with them afterwards and talked to them, and it was just a really like it was one of those star-struck moments because I had been a fan of theirs already, and I had like been listening to their most popular album. I think it was their first album.
Are
Yeah, it was
they
their
from this area as well?
No, no, they're not. I don't know what they were doing here. Like the other half, like it was only like 2 of them. It was only half of them. It was the two main like vocalist dudes because it's like it's I don't even really know how to describe them. Hold on, let me go to the Spotify synopsis. Here we go. Oh, there's none. Oh, it's one sentence, short and sweet. TV girl makes hypnotic pop. That's all it says.
Wow. I mean, yeah,
Which
that
is
gets to the point for sure.
Yeah, that's all you need to know. They're like the way they have it set up. It's just like kind of like a group of DJs, and they just kind of have their own little like boards and stuff that they mess with, and they have their roles in the song. And it's the vocals. They've got like a low vocal, and then they've got kind of like a quiet or like high vocal behind it, like harmonizing most of the time. It's really nice to listen to. They've got like the instrumentals are also really chill. Like they've
Is
got
it
nice
is it
production.
is it hypnotic?
I would. That's not the first word I would have used, but I'm gonna give Spotify some props for that adjective that they just used.
That's
I would say
awesome.
that's accurate enough for sure.
Okay, so yeah.
Um, oh wait, there's something I was gonna talk about. Oh yeah, my Spotify playlists are. I'm like, it's one of those things. I'm sure you have playlists like this. I'm sure everyone has playlists like this. It's one, but pretty much all my playlists. It's like I'm the only person that can understand why I put these songs on this playlist because like I have a playlist called Hype and you click on it and it's like, hmm, like it's all over the place. Like I've got some like smooth sax jazz on here and then I've got like Denzel Curry and I've got
Wow.
Royal Blood, Louis Prima, um I've got yeah, it's all over the place
I'm gonna be
as are
honest.
all
Like
of my playlists.
I have like 20 playlists on Spotify, and like
Oh
15
my
of
gosh,
them
yeah.
are dedicated to Dungeons and Dragons music.
Dude,
So
that's sick. I I have too many playlists. I can't even like I don't even want to try and count them. And I also have like some playlist folders. You know how you can do that?
oh, I did not know
But
you could do that.
yeah, it's cool. So like you can kind of categorize them, I guess. Like I have a sad playlist folder, which is regrettably full.
Oh,
But uh yeah. um Stepping away from guitar though, like I do have a lot of other musical inspirations. Like my favorite band of all time is called Grandaddy. They're kind of like I don't even know how to describe them either. They use it's like I wouldn't call it rock. It's kind of like alternative indie, but like electronic. Hold on, what does Spotify have to say? What how do they categorize here? Atmospheric electronics meet warped Americana. I don't know if I would say that. Hmm. But yeah, Granddaddy's a great band. Recommend it. Have you ever heard of Dimash?
no, I don't think so.
Uh, Again, I don't blame you. He's not very popular in America. He is from Kazakhstan. He is probably the best vocalist in the world if you like what he sings because he's been like classically trained since he was 5 and like he can hit notes that only dogs can hear and stuff and he's insane and he can also go really low too. And so I've tried to like I've failed, obviously, because who in the world can do that but him?
Right.
But
Wow, that's crazy.
I try, I try and like see what the highest note I can hit is sometimes, and I'll just be like in at my house, just kind of sitting, and then randomly just like let out this loud ass note. I was like, okay,
Yeah,
and then like I'll check back every once in a while.
I
Has it
can't sing
changed?
at
Mm.
all. I'm completely tone deaf, so
Well, you know, there's a lot of vocalists out there that I would say are tone deaf, but
I
they
can
don't necessarily realize it.
scream pretty good.
Okay, there you go. Yeah,
But
and no, see, that
cannot
makes you a
sing.
vocalist, of course. Just because it's not singing doesn't mean that it's not sick vocals.
Oh,
Obviously.
it's pretty sick, bro. It's pretty sick.
Okay, I'm gonna have to get some receipts on that later. But
Okay, I can send you some stuff if you want me to scream on some of your blues music.
oh my gosh, dude, that'd actually be so cool if we like tried to mix those genres. I'd be super down for that because those are very opposite genres, but you know,
Genre mixing is fun. I mean, we've
genre
got
mixing is
rap
fun.
and metal, so why not blues and metal? You know, fuck it.
That's true. Bleddle.
That already
I'm
sounds
very
better.
Yeah, dude, that sounds so cool. I'm here for Bleddle. Uh, so yeah, what instruments do you have?
Not a lot. Not a
Not
lot.
a
I
lot.
have a shitty LTD 7 string that I have
Oh,
tuned to
nice.
some obscure tuning.
I mean, hey, that's how you have fun.
I want to say it's G C
Oh
G
my goodness.
C D sharp
Oh,
G C.
oh my God.
I
I'm
want
trying
to
to
say
like, yeah,
it's interesting for
how's
sure.
yeah, definitely like, how does that like feel when you're just kind of like messing around, like tension wise?
Dude, so I still have I'm a lazy piece of shit guitarist. Cuz I still have the stock strings on it from when I
Oh,
bought it.
yeah.
Holy fuck, there's so much slack.
Oh, yeah, I can imagine. But also, I'm very guilty of that myself because when I got my PRS shipped, it's been like 2 months, and I'm still yeah, I'm still trying to get through these strings.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of like I I I get nervous about changing strings because it's something that I've done enough that I can like know how to do it confidently, but I will sometimes really struggle with certain strings, and then I'm like, I don't want to have to throw this string
Do
away,
you
you know?
like do you like try to like go through and like do intonation stuff while you do it as well or
I really wish I had the tools for that.
okay.
It's one of those things where it's like not as hard as you would expect, but you just need the right tools for it, and like I don't have any of the tools I would need to do that. Nor do
Yeah.
I know how, but I know people that know how to do it, and they're like, "Yeah, dude, it's so easy. You just need the right
Right.
tools." Um,
What the fuck? I was gonna
but
say something, but I forgot.
well, if you remember, we'll get back to it. But
Yeah.
um, I I don't really know why I haven't changed the strings on my PRS at this point because it has locking tuners, and the PRS locking tuners are like a dream to use. You literally just pull the string through, tighten it, and you're done, and then you tune it, and that's all you have to do.
Hmm.
It's like it's pretty sick.
I
Like,
think the
have you
only
have you ever used locking tuners?
I've used like Floyd Rose, and I did
Oh,
not
that's a
enjoy
nightmare.
those.
Yeah, that's a whole nightmare that I don't want to ever experience.
Yeah.
Not that wouldn't want to mess around with the Floyd Rose, but I wouldn't want to be the one to tune it.
Yeah. No, it was bad the one time I tried to restring one. It did
Oh
not
man,
go the way it should have.
yeah, I very naively tried to replace the tremolo springs in my Mexican Strat with some
mm,
vintage tremolo springs,
mm.
which are a little, looser. Shoot, I lost my train of thought. Oh, but speaking of my Mexican Strat, it is nothing like it was when I bought it. I have pretty much replaced everything. I replaced the neck. I got this nice neck. It was a Warmoth neck. Um, and I got some gold Fender tuners put on there, and I got a aftermarket pretty nice trem system. It's called the Super V Blade Runner tremolo system. I highly recommend it.
Hmm.
It's a little pricey, but if you have that laying around, go for it for sure. I also have some custom shop Texas Specials pickups by Fender in there now. Because when I got it, it just kind of had like the first two pickups were the stock ones, and then someone had modded it with like a Seymour Duncan humbucker, but it had a crack in it, so it was super microphonic and it sounded kind of weird. But yeah, um, I also have a GNL Legacy, a GNL USA Legacy, and GNL was made by Leo Fender, who he kind of like branched off from Fender and he was like, yeah, let's try this again. And so he did GNL and then he kind of like made the Strat 2.0. And so I have one of those, which I'm very grateful to have. I got a good deal on it on Reverb. Um,
It's a lot of
I
Fender.
also, yeah, yeah. I do have a lot of Fender. I think I only have one guitar that's not Fender, and that is my PRS. But it's literally a copy of a Strat, so I don't know if I can even say it's that different. But
I like to tell
uh,
everybody that I'm a PV guy.
I've had my fair share of PV products that I've enjoyed.
I've only ever
Um,
owned one PV guitar.
oh,
But
it's a PV guitar.
if anybody asks, I'm a PV guy. Yeah, I had a
Okay.
PV guitar. I'm not at liberty to disclose what happened to it. Um,
Mm,
my bass cab was PV, and right now I'm
nice.
using fuck, what is it for my guitar? I want to say it's a PV Jazz something. I don't know.
Oh,
I could
interesting.
be wrong. It's a
Yeah.
fucking half stack. What the hell is it?
Ooh.
I don't know. But
So
I'm,
it's
I'm,
it's
I'm
it's
a
like
PV
it's like a
guy.
head and a cab.
Yeah,
Oh, nice. Okay.
yeah. Both
Okay.
of them are PV as far as I can remember. It's been so long, dude. It's been so long
Oh,
since
yeah.
I've looked my looked my beautiful amp in the face. Because it's over at one of my other buddies' house.
Oh man, yeah,
Resting in
I feel that.
peace, basically due to
Dang.
quarantine.
Oh, yeah, a lot of my, I have a couple guitars and a couple amps still at my parents' house because, yeah, I moved out fairly recently and I still haven't really gotten
Yeah.
everything out. But yeah,
Valve
the
King.
first.
That's what it is. It's called a Valve King.
Oh yeah. I've heard of
Yeah.
that actually. I think I
Yeah.
played one at Guitar Center once.
It's
It was pretty
from
nice.
what I've heard, it's supposed to be for like jazz style music. That's what it's like built for.
Mm.
But I use it for metal because
Hey
I'm
man,
a piece of shit and I
use
don't
what you
care.
got.
Right?
Yeah,
It sounds
yeah,
great.
use what you got.
Honestly.
Yeah, I mean, if it sounds good, whatever. Because like the first amp that I was playing through was a PV combo amp. It was it was pretty old. My dad got it in like the 90s. Um, and so that's just kind of what I had to play through. And it was a really, really good amp while it worked. But then it started to like mess up, and you'd have to like unplug and replug the instrument cable a bunch of times in order to get it to work, and it was really frustrating. And I
Did you ever
couldn't
try to like
like,
fix it yourself?
yeah. So yeah, I just kind of did like little hacks that people like on forum that I found on forums of like people who also had issue those same issues and stuff.
Just never like whipped out
Um,
like a soldering iron or anything and
no, I am not. I am not very savvy with stuff. I'm pretty tech savvy. Like I built my computer. I built quite a few computers actually.
that's cool. I built some Legos one time. That was fun.
Dude, building a computer is literally just adult Legos. It's not that hard. Like it can be confusing if you've never done it, but like once you've done it,
I've had somebody try to explain RAM to me 8 different times and I still don't understand it. So
let me solve that right
I'm
now
a fucking
because
moron.
I'm very good at explaining things. So pretty much the only okay, this is off topic for sure, but this I'm gonna make this really brief. This is a little tech tidbit of the episode. So RAM uh, is literally just it's temporary memory. It's kind of like how when you go on Google Chrome and then your computer temporarily needs to store what you're seeing and the elements on the page, or just like even when you're playing a game, like those assets need to be stored somewhere. Like that big rock that you're trying to climb in Breath of the Wild needs to be stored somewhere, like while you're in front of it and while you're interacting with it and while it's still loaded into the game. And when it's loaded into the game, the memory and the files that are called in are put into the RAM. And then once you step away from it, it's gone. So it's very like malleable and like it's a very variable form of memory and storage. It's not obviously you can't just like, oh, I'm gonna put this sick EP on my 8 GB of RAM that I just got. You can't. Okay, anyway, moving on.
I'm just gonna nod and pretend like I understand.
Dang it! I thought I would. I thought I would clear that
It was
up for
close.
you. But
You were onto something for sure, but in
dang,
one ear
okay.
out the other. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay. Quick
That's-
question.
Yep.
Okay, this is somewhat music related. Do you play Smash Bros?
Which one?
Ultimate? I mean, any of them, really. Any of
Well,
them.
I mean, yes, I play the new one sometimes, occasionally.
Okay, Ultimate. Nice. So who do you play the most?
Man, are you sure you want the answer to that question?
I absolutely want the answer to that question.
Okay, I am 100% a Pac-Man main.
Dude, that is admirable. Pac-Man mains are scary.
I'm not good at it.
But, well,
Don't get me wrong, I'm not good at it. But
okay.
it's fun.
But
It's
if you
fun
had to
try.
pick, if you had to pick, okay, Pac-Man music aside, if you had to pick a theme song for that character, this is kind of a tough question. I'm
That's
just
an
now
interesting
realizing, but
question. Like
Yeah,
just any
it's a
music in
thinker.
general?
Yeah, just any music. Like if like the vibes you get when you see him spawn in and you're like, yeah, I'm about to kick some butt. It doesn't even have to be like a hype song. It can just be something that gives you
Oh
emotion
man.
and motivates you to like do well. Because I have a few playlists that I like to call on when I play that game.
I don't know, dude. It's yeah, that's a hard question for me because like as much as I love like listening to music, whenever I play video
Mm.
games, I really don't.
True, true. Like a lot of people do listen to music when they play games. I really don't that often. Like only if I'm like hanging out with my bud and like we wanna listen to some sweet tunes while we play Smash or something. Like I listen to a lot of city pop, like Tatsuro Yamashita. He is an amazing, amazing Japanese artist, and he has like it's pretty much he's one of those guys that like any song that I've listened to by him, I've loved. Like it's he can't write a bad song, and they're all so unique and like really good. I highly recommend him actually. I'm gonna send you some links.
Sure.
But I also we listen to a lot of 80s when we play. Some Phil Collins,
Okay.
maybe some yeah, yeah.
Does Journey
What's some of
count
your
as 80s? I don't know. The year Journey was a thing.
oh absolutely.
I
Yeah,
love
Journey definitely counts as
fucking
80s.
Journey. I love them so much.
Yeah, yeah, Journey's pretty great. I regrettably don't listen to them as much as I feel like I should. I just let's see, where's my Smash playlist? It's got some bangers. It's got some sick bangers. Let's see, More Than a Feeling, Boston. Uh, we've got Iron Maiden on here, The
Dude, I'm
Blues
telling
Brothers,
you,
Huey Lewis and the News,
add Separate
Eurythmics.
Ways by Journey to that playlist if it's not already
Separate
on
Ways by
there.
Journeys?
Yeah,
No, it's not. I'm gonna add it
you
right this
gotta
second.
add it.
Yeah, Separate Ways Journey. Okay, there. Okay, that's a playlist. So I see a playlist that says Separate Ways Journey, but then the songs that come up are not Journey. And now I'm hold on.
That happens a
Separate
lot, I'm sure.
Ways. What?
Can you not find the song?
Oh no. What? No, I can't. This is so sad. Oh, I found it. Okay. That was
I was
weird.
gonna
That's
say
so
like
strange.
it's on their top 5.
Yeah, it's like what? Okay, I found it. Anyway. But what do you have like a favorite video game soundtrack?
Fuck. Video game soundtrack. There's a lot of good ones.
Yeah. I really like
I
Shovel Knight. Shovel Knight has a really good soundtrack.
yeah, Hollow Knight's good too.
Dude, yeah, Hollow Knight.
I play a fuck ton of Dark Souls, so
Oh yeah,
the
dude.
Dark Souls soundtracks are all like burned into my brain.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, for me, um, it's usually like older games, like some Nintendo 64 games or like Game Boy games. Because I speed run Super Mario 64 actually, and so all of those songs are ingrained into my brain forever.
You like
And
the Penguin Slide
hmm,
song?
yes, yeah. Unfortunately, uh, I don't have the I don't have the privilege of dropping the baby penguin off the side because I must return it to its mother if I want to improve my time.
Fucking speedrunners.
Uh, You're telling me, man, it's stressful. And it's so annoying when you're like grinding. Ugh. But okay, good news to any of you Super Mario 64 fans out there. They just put the soundtrack on Spotify officially, but it's confusing because every song is its own individual. It's considered each song is its own single, and so they're not in an album. You
Oh
have to like save
no.
them all individually. Yeah, they need to do something about that.
Oh no,
But
they put him on as an artist. I see that.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's horrible. That's a dick move,
Okay,
Nintendo.
I'm gonna quickly run some artists by you,
Okay.
and I want to know if you've heard them because I feel like there might be a couple that I wouldn't expect that we both know maybe. Um, Chicano Batman.
No.
Okay, okay, that's reasonable. Oof. Okay. Uh, let's see. Leanne La Havas.
No.
Okay, that's fine. The Shins.
I've heard of the Shins. I don't know if I've listened to them.
Okay. Okay, yeah. I might be pronouncing this wrong. Toro Imoy.
That does not sound familiar.
Okay, he has a song in GTA 5 if you've played that.
I've never played a single Grand Theft Auto game.
I mean, it's what you'd expect. It's all in the name.
I've watched one of my friend's 4-year-old sister play it. That was fun. She stole someone's
game
car
has some
and
pretty sick
curb
music.
stomped a hooker.
There you go. That's Grand Theft Auto right
Very
there. That's all it is.
successful 4-year-old girl she was.
Yes. But that game has really good soundtrack just in the fact that they're all like actual like songs
Mm-hmm.
because you get in the car and then you can like change the station and they're all like real songs and some of them are like classics and so it's nice to just my dad, oh my gosh, my dad used to play that game so much. He has like thousands of hours in that game probably. But he would just like drive around and just listen to music. And
That's what I do.
I mean, you could
I get on Fallout New Vegas sometimes just to listen to the radio.
Oh my gosh, Fallout New Vegas. Yeah.
Like I say, I don't
Yeah,
like
man. But
country,
dude-
and then I listen to Fallout music, and
Okay, here's my case. Here's my only case for country music, like old, like Johnny Cash kind of music,
Mhm.
like that's totally fine. But like this like overly produced tractor love letter stuff, I'm not.
yes, I have this song on one of my playlists, "The Highwayman" by Johnny
Okay.
Cash and Waylon Jennings.
Yeah, yeah,
It's amazing. It's a
yeah,
trip.
man. I've got a little R&B playlist too. I've been trying to like. I've been really into funk lately. I've got do you know Wolfpack?
No, I don't.
Okay, well, that's fine. But I must say their bass player is incredible and they're just such a tight band in general. Like they pretty much all just share a brain and you can just like gosh, they just meld together and just make beautiful music. It's great. Uh shoot. What was I going to talk about? Okay, oh yeah, I was going to bring up like a hypothetical. Or not even necessarily hypothetical, but I do want to talk about like have you like how many like musicians which episode is this?
This would be, if I release them in order, 5.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah.
So have you ever like interviewed someone that has like a decent following or like or is like growing?
Yes.
Cool. So oh gosh, where was I going with this? Oh no. Crap, I totally like it was so clear in my brain like 5 seconds ago. What the heck?
You can do this. I believe in you.
Okay. Oh yeah, okay. So like have you ever been in like a studio setting?
Yeah. Like home studios mostly, but yeah.
Okay, yeah. Yeah. And have you ever like laid down a track? As in like
Just
have
recorded
you
something?
yeah, like have you been or like have you recorded as it was like did you record yourself or was it somebody recording you?
I've done both.
Okay, cool. So like this might be me, but I am the most nervous when I'm being recorded.
Dude,
Like not even on stage. It's just like on stage, I'm less nervous on stage than I am like in a recording setting.
I love recording music.
Yeah,
Um,
dude.
for me, it's always felt like just, I guess, business, like a business transaction, like a get in
Yeah.
and do it and then get out.
Yeah, I can feel like that for sure.
The one time I recorded with a band, I was doing bass, and so it was super easy for me to record because I'm a finger pick kind of guy. I
Nice.
love playing with my fingers, but
Yeah, it's
when
fun.
it came to recording, they had me play with a regular guitar pick.
Ugh.
Yeah, I agree, but it goes for a cleaner sound through recording, especially in metal
Oh, yeah.
genres.
Oh yes, yeah, for metal for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I love recording. I love playing live. I haven't done it in so long, but
Dude, playing live is so fun. I think honestly, I think the only reason that I'm as comfortable as I am on stage without having the experience is because I've always kind of like just I hate to say this. I really hate to say this, but I'm the guy at the party that picks up the guitar. That's me. And but I do it I do it in a respectful way. I kind of like if I'm like at a party and I'm not really vibing, I just like try and see if there's a guitar, and if there is, I get permission. And then step two, I go find a corner where I can put my ear up to the guitar and
Start playing
not have
Wonderwall.
fun. Oh no, no, I've not. I don't know that song. What is that? I've never heard of that. No, I'm just kidding. Uh, but yeah, I don't really know any of those like crowd pleaser songs. I've thought about like doing it just to like maybe like go to an open mic and just get myself out there, but I've done. Oh, actually have an open mic story. So, have you ever heard of Jerry's Bait Shop?
Maybe?
Okay, so it's a place in like old Lenexa, and it's like a bar, and they have like a house band, and they host an open mic weekly.
Okay.
And so I went to that, and the main attraction was that there was a house band, and so I would have like a band playing with me, and they were a very good band, so that was really cool. Uh, but the case I was using at the time, it was this like TSA approved case because I had to take my guitar to California with my orchestra one time, so I had to get that case, and it has a lock and a key, but I realized when I got there that the key was not with me, and
Mm.
so I was like freaking out, and I was trying to figure out what to do, and then like I noticed that some guy also had the same case as me, and I was like, oh, I wonder if he has his key, and I wonder if it would work in my case, and it did. It
Wow.
was like the most clutch moment of my life, and I got up and I played a couple songs, and then I actually did a little third song with a jam. I jammed with this other guy that was like my age, and he was really good too, and we played some blues together, and it was pretty awesome. I don't really remember it that well, honestly, regrettably, but I remember it being fun. I think I just kind of was like too nervous to retain anything.
Right.
Yeah.
That's cool.
What was your first stage experience like?
Well, I'm gonna need you to define that real quick, cause
As in like performing music.
like just in front of a crowd at all, or because I think
Yes, in front of a crowd at all.
technically speaking, my first live performance was in when I was in sophomore year of high school at my girlfriend at the time's backyard.
Okay,
We
okay.
had like a last
What
minute
a
improvised show with just our band.
Okay, yeah, and what did you play?
All originals, all original songs.
Oh, nice.
I've only
That's
ever
more
done
than I can
one
say.
cover, and it was at a talent show where I
Oh, cool.
played "Terrible Things" by Mayday Parade.
That is an admirable. I'm pretty sure. Oh, so it was in high school, right?
Yeah,
Okay, okay. So yeah, it's not like there wasn't anyone that didn't know what it was because I'm sure the high school is like, if you're gonna get into Mayday Parade, it's in high school.
yeah. There were some
Or
emo
like
kids in the back that definitely knew what I was playing.
nice, nice. Yeah, my first stage experience was a talent show as well, but I was in third grade, and I did like the most basic like blues riff thing, and I wrote my own little mini solo for it. It wasn't that great. It wasn't bad. Like I did for what it was, I played it well, and it was I was very nervous, and gosh man, I remember that better than like any other stage experience for some reason because I think it was just because I was so nervous, but
Wow.
yeah, I just it was the elementary school gym. Everyone was sitting. It was everyone and their mom and dad, and I had to do my thing. And then as soon it went by so fast. And then as soon as it was over, I was like relieved. And then I'm like really bad at accepting compliments. Not that I'm like, ugh, don't compliment me. Ugh, no, like I wholeheartedly encourage and accept compliments, but I get kind of shy.
Right.
I'm just like, yeah. I'm just like, yeah, thanks. I don't know. I just there's certain aspects of being a an at least solid musician that I'm trying to learn how to vibe with more like on the social side. Like the social side of music, I'm not I'm not very good at that. But I really need to I'm trying to reach out to more people and jam with as many people as I can and given this whole quarantine stuff that we just went through. I mean, a lot of people are still quarantining themselves at their own discretion, but
Right.
there's no official like lockdown or anything. But I'm trying to really reach out to some of my musician friends or just people that I see that are in my area that I would be interested in jamming with. I try and talk to them and see what I can do. And I feel like Instagram is probably the best way to network with musicians, other than like websites that are made for that.
Dude, bring
Which
MySpace
those,
back.
yeah, seriously, like MySpace was more intimate than pretty much any social network we have now.
Yeah. It was a
It was
great
just like,
platform for musicians as well.
yeah, definitely. And what's so sad, this saddens me so much, is that there was a band and they only had their music on MySpace, and I went back to try to find them, but since
Oh
they updated
no.
their website, all that stuff was lost.
Yeah. That shit sucks.
Yeah, yeah, it was so whack. I was so sad because like it was one of those things. It was one of those things where I was like one of like five people that even knew this band existed because I knew like I wasn't really friends with them, but my parents were friends with their parents, and they were like way older than me, but they had this like cool punk band called Gordy Skips. Shout out, name drop. And uh, just to give you an idea of how popular they were, they had a song about CC's Pizza,
Wow.
and they had a song about Flag Day. They were like a punk band too, and like they actually had some pretty killer songs. But I was pretty much their only fan, and I'm forever rest in peace, Gordy Skips. But ooh, I've got another question for you.
Okay.
What is your pick preference? Do you like
Okay. So
the hard nubby picks?
usually I use the Tortex,
Dude,
uh,
yeah,
the
those are so
the
nice.
thicker ones. It's
Oh
all
yeah.
smudged off on this one, but I think it says 14 millimeter. That doesn't sound right. Um,
Huh.
I don't know anything. I'm an idiot, like I said. I had one time. Whenever they first came out, I bought one of those Dragonheart picks. I don't know if you know what those are.
Oh yeah. Those are
Um,
so cool.
yeah, I was like, whenever they first came out, they were like, I think like $40 a pick. So I bought one of those and held on it for as long as I could until it just, I guess, grew legs and walked away from me one day, and haven't seen it since.
As as picks do. As picks do.
It was a thick boy too.
Dang. Yeah, I definitely I'm not a fan of the flimsy picks.
Yeah,
Gonna say, not a fan. That's I feel like flimsy picks are more of a rhythm guitar kind of thing, but
yeah.
I remember it took me forever. Okay, so I'm left-handed, but I play guitar right-handed. And
Mm.
so all of my dexterity is in my left hand, which helps with like, working the fretboard and stuff. But my right hand was so useless when I started playing. And so I could not use a pick for the life of me. And I was trying to play like Stevie Ray Vaughan stuff with my thumb, and it just wasn't working. And so
Wow.
I had to force myself to learn how to use a pick. And I've definitely gotten a lot better. I've gotten pretty good. I can't really speed pick that well. Like I can't pick very fast, but I can pick fast enough and use, like little hybrid picking techniques. Like I'll like pluck the high E with my middle finger to like speed things up, and it just sounds better anyway, in my opinion. But
See, now I'm even
yeah,
more impressed with you literally learning guitar with your non-dominant hand. Like that's a feat not many people can do.
honestly though, I'm wondering if well, I don't know. I don't know. My body, my brain in relation to my body is kind of weird in terms of the coordination. Because not that it's bad, it's just I don't understand it because there's a lot of things. Well, actually, really isn't a lot of things. It's the one thing I do right-handed, and I just kind of started learning it that way, and I didn't really think anything of it, and so it just kind of became natural. And I think my main focus was the dexterity in my left hand because I was like, I want to do fast stuff because fast stuff is cool. And I had already been playing guitar. I'd already been like good at Guitar Hero since like the third one came out, and like because I would just play it so much, and so I had like the speed in my fingers from that. But I just had to figure out how to like bring that skill over to the real guitar, and so I still remember, dude. I still remember learning the E chord. Like I have flashes of learning the E chord and like remembering, okay, I was so focused on like my finger placement and everything. And like here's something that people need to learn about learning instruments is that it's literally like learning a language. It's different, but it's kind of the same process. And it's just it's just like muscle memory and repetition, and that part of it, I feel like that's where a lot of people get stuck, and that's a lot of people don't really get past that part of it because it's really soul sucking and not fun. But I mean, it can be fun, but if you're kind of learning on your own, there's really no way to make that fun. You just kind of have to do it and just be motivated enough to get through it. Because, goodness, like, I was lucky enough to just kind of have it in the family. And, I kind of got some things naturally from my dad, some certain, like, I think my strong suit is dynamics and, just, I'm pretty good at voicing stuff, even if it's not impressive. I can make it sound good. And I have a pretty good vibrato, I will say. I modeled my vibrato meticulously after Stevie Ray Vaughan's. But, yeah.
There you go. That's awesome.
There you go.
There you go. Yeah, it's super cool. I'm sure it's really helpful to have that kind of musical influence around you, especially with it being kind of the same style of music that you're kind of wanting to go for.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Um, so, let's see. I think we've definitely crossed the hour mark.
Yeah, I've got my recording. I think I started a little bit before the call, but I've just passed hour 20.
Oh, okay. So, I kind of want to close it off with a little, with a little, with a little blues shred.
I was gonna literally recommend that because usually what I do is I have the artist recommend one of their songs that they think is the most meaningful to them, or the one that they think that they want people to listen to the most, and then I'll clip that in at the end of the video. But I don't think you really have anything too readily available.
I do actually.
You do? Okay.
Yeah, I do for sure. It's just not anywhere on the internet. I'd have to send it to you, but I will.
Okay, sure. I mean, if that's something you're cool with.
Oh, definitely, yeah. It's just a demo, but it's good enough, and I'm proud enough of it that I feel like it would be really nice to put
Does
it
it have a
end.
name?
It's called Trickle Down, and it is not blues. It is not. It's very out of genre. I don't write blues songs. I write like very alternative, out of genre songs. Sometimes like I've written a couple blues songs actually, but usually when I write songs, here actually, you know what? Let me play you a song that I'm working on, and then we can close it out.
Okay, yeah, I'll do both. You can play this out, and then I'll put your other song at the end. That sounds good to me. Does it sound good to you?
Yeah.
Okay. Real quick, I know you probably just stepped away from the mic, but let's go ahead and just I guess drop where people can find you.
Oh yeah, so my Instagram is Ian Mull Music, no spaces or underscores. Well, I guess you can't really put spaces. And my YouTube channel is the same name. And something I've been really excited about with YouTube is that my channel's been growing very quickly as of recently. I have gotten like 200 subscribers in like the last 2 months. And so I'm trying to kind of keep that momentum. And so any support would be really appreciated. And if you, like my music or like what I play, then definitely check it out. And any feedback at all is very appreciated and encouraged. So yeah, if you vibe with it, then check it out.
Awesome. Go ahead and play us out, man.
All right, the song has no title.
These things don't just go away. For us, I want you to be safe. Barriers keeping us in place. I can't decide which one I'm gonna break. I don't mind the way, but somehow all these days just feel the same. Staying up too late to wake up to the sunset naturally. Trickle down and tell me if it's fate. These folks and flakes are losing human race.
Call of Duty.